Join us today to learn about Xisco Gracia Llado. He'd been cave diving for years, but this day was different. He got trapped in an underwater cave system for 60 hours. Would they save him? Did he have enough courage left, or were his friends' efforts too late? Let's find out. On April 15, 2017, Xisco Gracia Llado, a seasoned cave diver with over 20 years of experience, and his friend Guillermo Mascaro, a local diver who had been exploring caves for the past 15 years, planned a technical dive into an underwater cave system on the island of Majorca, Spain. They aimed to explore an uncharted section of the Cova de Sa Piqueta cave system, roughly 900 meters from the entrance. Llado, known for his meticulous mapping contributions to the island's speleology data, was particularly enthusiastic about documenting these previously unrecorded chambers. Each had a standard rebreather and a side-mount configuration attached to their breathing gas. They also brought several high-powered lights to help them see through areas with zero visibility and wore diving suits appropriate for the water temperature they expected. In their plan, they would use a guideline spool with some numbered markers as a reference point when entering or leaving any part of the cave system. Deploying their guideline spool as planned, Xisco and Guillermo navigated the initial passage with practiced ease. The water clarity was acceptable, allowing them to confirm the numbered markers at each junction. After penetrating roughly an hour into the cave system, Xisco glanced at his integrated rebreather display. His gas consumption was exceeding his pre-dive calculations. While a slight deviation from the planned gas usage wasn't necessarily a cause for immediate alarm, it did warrant caution. Cave diving relies on strict adherence to gas management protocols to ensure a safe and timely return to the surface. Xisco communicated the situation to Guillermo using predetermined hand signals to avoid stirring up silt and further reducing visibility. Their headlamps were only illuminating the small chamber they had reached. Therefore, they agreed to terminate the exploration and retrace their ingress route. Unfortunately, the return journey was hampered by deteriorating visibility. The fine silt particles disturbed by their fins had created a dense cloud, obscuring the crucial guideline. Without the reference points provided by the numbered markers, navigating the complex maze of passages became disorienting. Xisco backtracked, searching for any glimpse of the guideline. However, the limited visibility hampered his efforts. He knew venturing further without a clear path was a high-risk proposition. Their pre-dive briefing had addressed gas contingency plans, including emergency gas strategically placed at designated points along the planned route. Guillermo suggested venturing deeper into the cave network for a known emergency air pocket. While this option carried some risk, the potential reward of a fresh gas supply outweighed the immediate danger of dwindling air in their current location. After carefully considering the situation, Xisco reluctantly agreed. They decided to deploy a delayed surface marker buoy to signal their location to potential rescuers on the surface. Guillermo ascended upwards with a final hand signal confirming the plan, hoping it connected with the pre-placed emergency gas supplies. Alone in the vast chamber, Xisco's rebreather broke the silence. He switched off one of his primary lights to conserve battery life, plunging the chamber into an even deeper inky blackness. He was isolated, with a dwindling gas supply and no clear path back to the surface. Visibility remained poor, and the absence of the familiar guideline made him even more anxious. He relied on his dive computer and rudimentary dead reckoning skills to navigate upwards. Finally, he breached the surface, gasping for fresh air. Disoriented and low on gas, he secured himself on a nearby rock face and activated his emergency surface marker buoy. Wasting no time, he used his satellite communicator to send a distress message, relaying his and Xisco's predicament. A rescue team of experienced cave divers, emergency medical personnel, and local law enforcement officials began assembling at the designated cave entrance. Bernat Clamer, a highly regarded cave diver with experience rivaling Xisco's, readily volunteered for the rescue mission. The first attempt to locate Xisco was still hindered by the same issue that had plagued Guillaume's return journey, near-zero visibility caused by the disturbed sediment. Despite navigating using the deployed DSMB as a reference point, the rescue divers could not penetrate far into the cave system. After a frustrating search, they were forced to return to the surface. The urgency to locate Xisco was paramount on the surface, yet the current water conditions rendered traditional search techniques ineffective. The clock was ticking, and Xisco's limited gas supply dwindled with each passing hour. Meanwhile, Xisco remained alone in the vast chamber. He monitored his rebreather gauges, rationing his remaining gas with the practiced efficiency of a seasoned cave diver. He located a small freshwater section within the chamber, a providential discovery that allowed him to replenish his dehydrated state. He knew a rescue attempt was underway, but needed to understand their progress. Frustrated by the initial failed attempt and acutely aware of the diminishing time window, the rescue team opted for a two-pronged approach. First, they recognized the necessity for improved water clarity. Divers on the surface deployed high-powered water filtration pumps near the cave entrance, hoping to improve visibility within the network gradually. This, however, was a slow process. Secondly, the team strategized alternative search methods. Bernat Claimer, using his knowledge of the cave system from years of exploration, proposed a daring plan. He proposed a bold plan using his knowledge of the cave system from years of exploration. The vast network of passages within the Cova de Sa Piqueta cave system was a labyrinth, but locating Xisco was the only way out. Bernat recalled a specific chamber containing an air pocket located roughly in the direction Xisco and Guillaume had been trapped. He would navigate the initial passage, cutting every deployed guideline he encountered. This way, he would ensure that any remaining guideline would inevitably lead directly to Xisco's location. The risk was that Bernat Claimer, disoriented by the lack of reference points, could become lost. However, his determination to locate his friend outweighed the potential dangers. Fernandez plunged into the murky depths. The limited visibility made the task even more challenging. He navigated the initial passage, using his dive computer and exceptional spatial awareness to locate and sever each encountered guideline. After some time, Bernat emerged into the vast chamber where Xisco had been trapped. He spotted a lone figure huddled in the distance. Using predetermined hand signals to avoid further silt disturbance, Bernat established contact with Xisco. Although weak, the confirmation that Xisco was alive brought hope to the rescue team waiting anxiously on the surface. Bernat remained with Xisco, administering emergency rehydration fluids and monitoring his vital signs. The priority now shifted to safely extracting Xisco from the cave. Time remained a crucial factor, but Xisco's weakened state necessitated a measured approach. The next team of divers, Hilary Moreno Moya and Enrique Ballesteros, close friends of Xisco and experienced cave divers in their own right, entered the water-carrying canisters filled with nitrox, a breathing gas with a higher oxygen content compared to standard air. This would aid Xisco's recovery during the long ascent back to the surface. The reunion of Xisco with his friends was a touching one. After stabilizing himself for a while, Xisco used the new nitrox and started going upwards again. At long last, Xisco came out of the cave entrance more than 60 hours later, and he was welcomed by an audience that had gathered to cheer and clap for him. His experience became a strong warning of the dangers of cave diving, which made it clear that careful planning, cooperation and bravery under challenging times are essential for divers to withstand such situations. Besides all this, however, Xisco's account took a strange turn after the trauma. In a remarkable display of courage and unwavering passion for cave diving, he eventually returned to the sport. This decision surprised many, but for Xisco, it was a way of reclaiming control and confronting his father. He reviewed the events that led to his predicament, vowing to learn from his mistakes and prioritize safety above all else. Xisco's harrowing experience underground is a grave warning strike for all cave explorers. no matter how well-trained and experienced they are. Even the most skilled and qualified cave divers can encounter unexpected and hazardous situations when exploring nature's dark, mysterious depths. Should cave diving be more regulated? What would you do in a similar situation? Would you ever consider cave diving again? If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown.